What can you say to folks who see every night on the news and all over social media pictures of folks known for being stoic, known for being individualists, seemingly crying out for help for the most fundamental issues? Is FEMA ready for prime time, particularly what we're about to face in Florida? Hey, and we are the Coalition Civilly Disobedient Media, broadcasting tonight at the Providence Public Library, where a very special event took place. CHOP, Culinary Hub of Providence, had their grand opening tonight, the big ribbon cutting. If you're not familiar with the Genesis Center, you should be. It's an incredible organization that really has done generational changes in the lives of young people, and in this case, giving them culinary job training at a very, very high level. It's a beautiful space. It's on the ground floor of the Providence Public Library. If you're looking for a spot during the day to have a cup of coffee or bring a client or meet, well, just have a conversation. It's fantastic. The food here is wonderful, and they're gradually morphing into an evening restaurant as well. So it's a real destination, another destination in the heart of Providence. Congressman Seth is graciously joining us right after the event. Maybe just at first, just a few comments about the Genesis Center and what they've accomplished really in a lifetime here in Rhode Island.
Well, Genesis Center has been one of those best kept secrets in Rhode Island, I think, for a long time. They've been around for 30 years, and they basically train people to enter the culinary field, but they do that with real hands-on experience. And so for years now, they've been doing catering and takeout meals and things like that any member of the public can go by for a low price and help people get trained. Now they're taking it to the next level by opening this really beautiful physical space on the first floor of the Providence Public Library that operates as a restaurant. And so you can come here, you can have a great meal in a great environment, but also do it at a place that has a mission to get people the training that they need to have fulfilling careers.
CTE is the new term for technical education. It's really becoming very prominent here in Rhode Island as a response to, market needs. If you can, talk about the type of careers that folks like this can have. They had, by the way, in the backdrop on a video screen displaying all the different food trucks, brick and mortar restaurants that had opened up. What type of opportunity exists for children and young people from tougher communities, to be blunt?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there are a lot of great career paths where people can earn a decent living that don't require a 4-year college degree and a lot of student debt, but they require some form of training. And so that can look like a lot of different things. But in the culinary space, you can get really good on-the-job training at places like the Genesis Center, learn by working, and launch a good career. And here in Rhode Island, we are known for having great food, great restaurants, and it's not because there's anything special about our location, it's because of the people behind the culinary industry of Rhode Island. That talent is what makes us one of the best. And so with Genesis Center and the CHOP at the Genesis Center, people from, as you said, lower income communities, people who have had a difficult time navigating the traditional education pathways can get good hands-on training here that can lead to good long-term careers.
And the timing couldn't be any better post-COVID. So many restaurants have been challenged by staffing issues here in the last few years. So there is a warm embrace waiting for young people who have spent time at a very high-end restaurant environment, who have actually working experience and who leave school, if you will, ready to hit the ground running.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right.
Now, on national news, we're facing some challenges. We've had Hurricane Helene, and now we've got another hurricane barreling down as we speak, about to hit somewhere along the west coast, if you will, of Florida, in a matter of hours. Conflicting reports abound about the performance of FEMA and the federal government's response to these storms. And full disclosure, Coalition Radio Network runs something called Libertarian Mutual Aid. We do have people in Tennessee and North Carolina actually responding as volunteers. What can you say to folks who see every night on the news and all over social media pictures of folks known for being stoic, known for being individualists, seemingly crying out for help for the most fundamental issues. Is FEMA ready for prime time, particularly what we're about to face in Florida?
Well, these are terrible storms, right? These are terrible storms. The first hurricane that hit primarily impacting North Carolina and Georgia and Tennessee was tremendously powerful, and now Hurricane Milton, which is about to hit the west coast of Florida, is a Category 5 storm and a tremendously large storm as well. Look, this is the impact of rising temperatures, and rising temperatures, particularly in the ocean in the Gulf of Mexico, leads to more extreme weather. The response, I think, so far has been a strong response, understanding that these are really bad storms. So far, the Biden administration has mobilized thousands of FEMA workers, thousands of National Guard members to address the response in North Carolina in particular, as well as Georgia, Virginia, Tennessee, and Florida. They're preparing to do the same in central and southern Florida when Hurricane Milton lands. But listen, these are really bad storms, they're bad hurricanes, and people need to heed the evacuation orders and not be stupid and not stay in places where they shouldn't be staying. But there has been a robust federal response, as there should be.
Do you anticipate some type of retrospective, if you will, an analysis post-storms led by Congress on FEMA, given the outcry?
Yeah, so again, I think that the issue in North Carolina was not an issue of lack of FEMA response. The problem, I think if there was one, was that there were not evacuation orders given until the very last minute, or at some places at all. And so I think that's something that we in Congress are going to be asking questions about, is why did it take so long in some of these areas, particularly sort of in the North Carolina panhandle, Virginia, Tennessee, why did it take so long for evacuation orders to be given? Is that a failure, with weather forecasting and the National Weather Service? Does it have to do more with local authorities not being on the ball? But that's something that I think we're going to have to ask about. I am satisfied, and I have heard that both Democratic and Republican governors from those impacted states believe that the federal response after the storm hit has been significant, and that thousands of people and resources have been deployed. The issue again is that there weren't evacuation orders given in some cases early enough. Now, it's a different situation, I hope, with Hurricane Milton in Florida. Evacuation orders were given, 48 hours in advance in some cases of the storm hitting, and so hopefully we'll have a different outcome there. But we need to figure out why evacuation orders weren't given earlier on in North Carolina in particular.
On the home front, in conclusion, we are blessed here in Rhode Island that we have a wonderful National Guard. We have an outstanding Rhode Island Emergency Management Agency, as well as we have a great Providence Emergency Management Agency. Well rehearsed, well drilled, but these are different times apparently. We are facing storm activity that is inconsistent with historical patterns. It is more severe. Given the talent that we've got at home, is there still time perhaps to revisit our capacities here in Rhode Island on the state and obviously interfacing with the federal level moving forward, so there is a clear, transparent response that engages communications properly?
Yeah, we've been fortunate in Rhode Island. We haven't had a serious hurricane since Hurricane Sandy in 2012. We haven't had a direct hit since Hurricane Bob in 1990. But that doesn't mean that it can't happen here and that it won't happen here. It will. It's only a matter of when. The good news is that the Rhode Island National Guard has developed a lot of experience with disaster response in other places around the country. So they have been sent to places like Puerto Rico when they had a terrible hurricane not long ago. And so I do think that they have been getting the practice, getting the reps in, and that they will be prepared to do their jobs well if and when a storm hits in Rhode Island. But from the leadership of our state on down, everybody needs to be prepared, not only for hurricanes, but of course for blizzards and for all manner of disasters.
Thank you very much. Will we see you here having
Absolutely.
a cup of coffee?
Absolutely, often.
Is there opportunity maybe that this becomes one of the power spots here in Providence?
I hope so. You'll know where to find me.
Thank you very much,
All right.
Congressman.
Hey, good to see you.